Folks, anyone that's talking, you're going to miss out.
We don't want to see the logos on your right.
How's this? Is this good?
Yes.
How good is this?
Excellent.
Amazing, hey? My name is Demi, if I haven't met you before. I am a success strategist, and I'm also the author of The One, How to Meet and Choose Your Ideal Partner. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you some practical tips, some practical things that you can do starting today to make your life so much better. Because I have seen in my very, very many years on this planet that as a woman entrepreneur, so many of us get it right in our business, but our relationships are another thing entirely. Who would agree with that?
Yeah.
You know, I'm so glad that I've come on after so many speakers that have shared their personal journeys, because I'm sitting there thinking, that was me. Husband number one, he had to go. You know, and I honestly understand what it's like because I've been there, and I wouldn't be able to give you success strategies today. You're not playing with my PowerPoint, are you all? Just leave it and I will control it. Just leave it on that first page and I will control it. Oh, okay. All right. You tell me when you're ready.
Coming right up.
That's my hot husband, by the way. All right.
Yes.
Thank you. So, is this going to work for me? I'll just ask you to go to the next slide. Is that all right?
No, you cannot take it. No, you cannot.
Yes?
Can you time out?
Come on, we talked about this. All right, just leave it on there.
This one you cannot.
All right. Fantastic. What I invite you to do is to think back of when you were her, or when you were a little boy. Do you remember what you used to think about? Do you remember how you used to wear your hair? I even remember that I used to like those little baubles in mine, you know, and my mum, she's this mad Greek woman, and she used to want to save money, so she used to cut my fringe, you know. Like, I remember all those things. I remember being a daydreamer, and I remember thinking, I can't wait to be big. I can't wait to be an adult and make all my own decisions. Do you remember that? Do you remember being like that? And you know, I really realised once I became an adult that this decision thing is really hard, and this adult thing is really hard, because you've probably heard it said that you are only one decision away from a totally different life. Yeah? Who's heard that? Yeah. And you know, I have found that to be true, because as I have told my many, many students over the years, that what you do today will add up to your tomorrow, because life is accumulative. You know, every day plus another day plus another day equals what you're going to end up with, you know. So what I invite you to do is have a think of what that little girl wanted to be, what that little girl wanted to do, And I can share with you that it really is about priorities. Some of you have talked about, and quite openly, and I really appreciate that, that you've been in relationships where you weren't supported. You know, it's not fun not being someone's priority. In fact, I've been in relationships where I wasn't even the second priority or the third priority. So let me tell you, I was out of there. You know? And what I would love is for you to learn from what has happened to others. Because remember, a wise person doesn't have to drink the poison to know that it is. You know, read the bottle, read the warnings. You know, so I want you to have a really happy, fulfilled life. And that comes from prioritising. No, it's gone backwards. No. Yeah, I'm supposed to be. Here we go. A few of you have spoken about balance. I look at this woman trying to keep her balance, and I'm thinking, girlfriend, you've got a pretty big chance of falling, you know, because I've heard you saying, well, how do I do it all? You know, how do I do it all? So I'm sharing with you that actual balance is sometimes overrated.
Yeah.
The only thing that we can do is really be organised, organise our day. And some of you have put it much better than I probably could, you know, because when we're in a relationship, the only way that we can have it all is to ensure that everybody has their part. Everybody has input. You know, you've heard people say, oh, I want a 50-50 relationship. Who's heard that? You know, it's about giving 50-50. If he's not going to give me more, I hear it all the time, being a relationship person, you know. But it's not that. It's giving 100%. Both of you giving 100%. And yes, there will be times where you are not well. You can only give it 30% at the moment. The other person, if they love you, they pick up the slack. And vice versa. If you love the other person, you pick up the slack. But this whole balancing thing and trying to do it all, no. So, when you're working, whether you work 40 hours a week, 60 hours a week, ensure, and so many of you now, and myself included, we work from home at the same time. But we both work from home. So, the first bit of gem advice I'm going to give you is to ensure that you say, when I'm working, I really would love no interruptions. Make sure you put your phone on aeroplane mode so you know when you're working, you are super productive. You're going to go and get them. You are going to make sure that you do everything that you set out to do that day. You're going to be productive because you're not going to have people coming in, oh, honey, what's for dinner? You know, because that's your time. I'm very much in teaching people that you teach others how you want to be treated, right? You teach others how you want to be treated. It's about respect. You know? I want you to have respect for me, but I have that respect in myself that I'm going to set those boundaries. Okay? And you're going to do the same for the other person. Then, if that's not working for you, and remember, I'm a practical person, so I'm a practical coach. I show people how to practically do these things. Have the hard conversation. Because I can see already from some of your questions, that's what you're struggling with. How do I make sure that I can give my business everything, but give my family everything? Priorities. Yes. Think about what those priorities are. My daughter is a business person as well, but she's a dreamer as well, you know. And she always says, but Mum, you know, I start on this and then I think, oh no, I want to do that. And then she says, I think about your words. Keep the most important thing the most important thing. So if you are taking notes, please write that down. Keep the most important thing the most important thing, and make that your priority for the day. I'm going to teach you some phrases of love that will help you get on your way. Because you know what happens? As business people, we are so good at the negotiation, aren't we? We are so good at showing people how to, I just say to people, look, be reasonable, do it my way. Okay? And we're all good at that because that's our job. But where we're not so good is in the communication part of things, yeah? So, who doesn't want to have a better relationship? If you put your hand up if you don't want to have a better relationship. Right. So, I'm going to show you some phrases that you can use even today when you talk to your loved ones, okay? And the more you use them, guess what? It has a mirroring effect. In psychology, when we want somebody to agree with us or we want somebody to understand us, we call it mirroring. You do it over and over again and they do it back. And I know that because my husband wasn't like that to start with, but he is now. So, the first one, I appreciate that you work so hard to support our family. That's not hard, is it? Translation, I appreciate you. Simple? I am grateful that you're able to cook dinner tonight so that I can have my Zoom meeting. Please don't take advantage of your people. You're not going to have a relationship for long. Okay? They're not there for you to wipe your feet on. Show them that you're grateful. Translation, I am grateful for you. We're going to go. I'm proud of the way that you tackled that situation at work. See where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Translation?
I'm proud of you.
I am proud of you. And who doesn't, think back to that little girl or that little boy. Who doesn't want that praise? Come on, we're all entrepreneurs here. We want the praise, right? So if you want it, give it. Give that praise. I really liked how you spoke to such and such. Or I really liked the way you tackled this situation. That is not said enough to our spouses and our significant others, you know? Don't just want to get it. Let's give it as well. Translation. Tell me. I really like you. Yeah. See, tell me what you see in that photo. Who would like to tell me what they see? Because everyone sees something different. Who wants to tell me?
Support.
Okay, support.
She trusts him to not tip the boat.
Yeah? Yeah. See how, and I was hoping to get a couple of different answers to that. I know you're tired, but stay with me. He's loving it. He's got a smile on his face. She's got a smile on his face. He's rowing the boat. She's enjoying the ride. It's all good. But guess what?
She's guiding.
She could be. She could be guiding him. But I can tell you, in a relationship, if you are the only one that's rowing the boat, it gets very tiring. So again, those conversations need to be had, you know, because you want both of you giving a relationship 100% at the same time. Say, when you fall down, I will lift you up. And when I fall down, I know that you're there for me. See the difference with I know you're there for me as opposed to, well, you'd better be there for me. If I'm going to lift you up, you'd better be there for me. Then we wonder why our relationships don't work out. You know, we might be the boss at work, but the way we speak to our people is everything. And you know how they say you get what you want a lot easier with honey than you do with vinegar. I don't know if any of you noticed, at lunchtime and before that, I had one waitress doing everything for me. You know why? Because I called her by her name. I showed her gratitude. She was bringing me coffees when there was no coffee. She was getting me wine before anybody else. She made sure I had everything. I'd never met her before. Now you think you want a relationship with your partner, and if you don't have one, you really need to read my book. Date night. My secret weapon. Who doesn't love a bit of romance? Man, I'm the queen of romance. I love romance. I love everything leading up to the romance. If you know what I mean? I'm it. A key thing to having a really good, well, what I call having everything and being truly happy in your relationship is making the time to be together a quality time. You can go to any restaurant in the world, anywhere. You know, it's the same in Greece, it's the same in Australia, it's the same in the US. And you go to a restaurant and you see families or you see couples, and they're not talking to each other, they're on their phones. Those bloody phones. I know they're an addiction, you know, but if you want your relationship to work, make that person feel like they are the most important person there. When I'm speaking to you, if I'm speaking to you, I'm not checking my phone. I can guarantee it, you know. I make you feel like you're the only person in the room because you've got my attention 100%. When anybody, whether they're a friend, whether they're a colleague, whether it's someone I'm working with, I always put my phone away. Because especially if they're paying me money, they're not paying me money for me to be checking my phone, right? I hate that when I'm paying money and someone's checking their phone. I get really dirty, you know. I might be from Australia, but I'm Greek. So, you know, we have a temper. And so just as in business, in your personal life too, if you're saying to that person, oh yeah, I'm 100% in with you. It's not more important for you to put it on Facebook where you're eating. It's more important that you are there and you are connected with that person. Mono on mono, you know? Because then that person feels like, you know what? She's all in, or he's all in with me. Because words are cheap. It's actions. And there's not enough action. I see everyone on Instagram and this and that, and they're talking blah, 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 and they have all the answers. They're 25 years old, and they have all the answers. I thought, shit, I wish I had all the answers when I was 25, you know. But they're words. And I think, okay, show me what your family life is like. Show me what you go home to, if you go home to anyone. Or have you pushed everyone away in your quest to be successful? Because, you know, you can have it all, but it's all those little things that you do. Make the person your priority. Show them. So are we fairly clear? When you're working, you show boundaries. You're working. They know you're working. No interruptions. You're going to give it everything. You're going to be super successful. I run 7 companies. Right? I wouldn't be able to do that if I wasn't focused, one, but if I wasn't organised, you know. Yeah. But when I'm with my husband, and I've got the hottest husband, I can tell you, I'm all in with him. I'm all in with him. I say that for you to laugh, but, you know, he's all right. So date night. What else? What doesn't happen at date night? And this is very important. I hope you're listening if you want to have a really good date night situation. Is date night isn't the time to bring up problems. It's not the time to talk about the kids. It's not the time to bitch about whatever is irking you. It is the time for positive, happy conversations. Again, in my book, I guide you through what to say, things to talk about, you know, because that's what it is. It's like, I don't know what to say. After I don't talk about work and I don't talk about the kids, there's nothing. You want to have a long-lasting relationship. You want to have a long-lasting business. These are the things that we work on, are things that you want to be able to have a better relationship about. Is all that making sense?
Yes.
Yeah? Fantastic. Just out of interest. Oh, tell me later. Tell me later. Yeah. I don't want to embarrass anybody, but as someone that studies relationships, and that's, you know, nowadays it's 70% of my clientele, I always want to know everything about everyone, you know. But tell me later. All right. This is such an important phrase for you to really live by. What you are not changing, you are choosing. So many speakers today have encouraged you, and I love that, to write down your goals, write down exactly what you want. You know, when I ask, the first thing I ask someone that comes to me to help them find a partner, I say, tell me what you want out of a partner. And guess what they do? They tell me everything they don't want first. I don't want someone that smokes, I don't want someone... And you know, a mind can only work towards something, not away from it. So I want you to think, you know, what are you choosing? Because if you choose the things that are for you, no one can take away the things that are for you if you choose them. Yeah. So what you are not changing, you are choosing. What I would like, and what would I know will give you a happy, fulfilled life, which is what I have. Right? I don't respect people that come up and talk about stuff and they're not really living it.
Thank you.
You know? I'm so effing happy it's not funny, you know? And I can honestly say that I have a really fulfilled life because I refer back to her. Make her proud. Live a fulfilled, happy life by choosing you, choosing your priorities, and keep the most important thing the most important thing. Thank you. Because like I said, I'm a busybody, I'd love some questions, and honestly, I will give you permission. They can be as personal as you like. Go. Yes.
What's your favorite, juiciest date night romantic, like leading up to everything?
Okay.
In your perfect.
Yeah. What I do leading up to it, because obviously we're both at home, I'm not going on a date, and I've been on hundreds of dates when I was single. Hundreds. You'll read about it in my book. The one. Okay. I always start playing really nice music to get us in the mood, and I don't wait to get to the restaurant before I pour us a glass of wine. He only has a few sips because he likes to drive, and now that we're living on a Greek island in a villa, the roads are crazy, so I'll let him drive. So, but that's a lead up to it, and if you don't drink, that's really cool too. But I set the scene with music. Music is everything, you know. So that's how I do it. And so, of course, another thing is, some things when you're living together, they're not sexy, man. They're not sexy. So I don't get dressed at this in front of him. He has where he gets dressed, and I have where I get dressed. Because when he sees me coming out of that door, I want him to go, holy guacamole, you know? So I'm not there putting things on while he's in the room getting dressed at the same time. That kills all romance to me, you know, if he's watching you get ready. And yeah, like I said, I'm the queen of romance. So that's how I lead into it, is that once he sees me, it's like, whoa, it's almost like your wedding day. You know how on your wedding day, or if you've ever thought of getting married, that's what keeps you thinking, I want to get married, because you want him to see you in that dress for the first time. You can make date night the same every time, because he's like, wow. But it's the same in reverse. You know, yeah, like you're going to have to try a lot harder, sorry. But you know, it's when he comes out too, you know, and that's the beauty of not actually seeing each other get dressed. You know, it's a logistical thing, but you'll work it out. Any other questions? Yes.
Yeah, how often are this date night? So how often do you recommend that?
I recommend in my book that date night happens once a week. Now, it doesn't have to be expensive. It's about the romance. I was years and years ago, in the 90s, I was going out with this French guy. You know, he's so good at talking. And he used to say, you know, baby, romance can happen in the back of a ute if you know what to do. And I'm like, okay. But, so, yeah, once a week. But it doesn't have to be a big, expensive affair. You know, we used to just take, when we were saving up, because we had to save up for a really big project, we used to just take a bottle of wine and 2 glasses to the beach, or we can go to the park or whatever, and that used to be our date night or our date afternoon. That's not expensive, especially in Australia. You can get a bottle of wine for $10. Any other questions? One more. Yes.
Well, teach about what keep your relationship. You also teach about how to find them.
Yes, that's why I wrote The One. No, but that's the book. That's what the book is called. The One, How to Meet and Choose Your Ideal Partner. And you know why I wrote How to Choose Your Ideal Partner? Because most of us, men and women, we let other people choose us instead of us choosing them. It's like, oh, well, she likes me, so... Like, I ask young men, why are you going out with her? Because I'm thinking, she's no good for you, dude. And they're like, oh, you know, she likes me. She liked me on Tinder. So I thought, oh, yeah, all right. Oh, my God. No. You making the choice is everything.
I have a really great question.
Please.
So, my husband's, he's deployed, he's active duty, so 12 months, and the Zoom date nights are getting boring. So, help me spruce up my date nights on Zoom.
Do them naked. Yeah, the first, especially with your body, do them naked, man. I'm not, you think I'm joking? No. Honestly, have theme nights. Yeah, I remember, I'm not big on big celebrations, but my very first Valentine's, my husband was living in New Zealand and I was living in Australia. So I was thinking, oh, the most romantic day of the year, supposedly, what are we going to do? So I said, okay, we both have to get dressed up for date night because we did it on Zoom, you know? So I wore an outfit that I'll tell you about later. He wore a black tie, you know, that you wear with tuxedos, but that was it. And it was the best date night ever, and we had a glass of wine. Does that answer your question? Add some spice. Yeah. Add some spice. It's the same with any relationship. Add some spice. Thanks for having me.